Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 2. Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. And whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet, and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. But if the watchman see the sword come, and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and taketh any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hands. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. And as always, peace and salutations to the elect. This is the brother Benaiah from the Great Millstone Dallas branch. I'm going to entitle this lesson, The Wicked is Speaking. Why aren't these Israelite camps warning? All right. The wicked is speaking. Why aren't these Israelite camps warning? All right. And I have a couple of videos that I have queued up. You know what I'm saying? But you brothers and sisters here, you know, that follow Great Millstone, of course, you brothers that's in the camp. All right. You know that being a watchman comes with a job of warning our people about the sword. And when you look at these other Israelite camps, they're doing the total opposite. You see of what Yahweh Shem Shah required. Clearly, we see the sword getting ready to come down on you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. The sword is getting ready to come down on the whole earth, man. You see? But yet and still you have these other Israelite camps more worried about debating with Edomites. You see? Worried about getting on different people's podcasts. You know? You had Captain Tazariak, damn, what was that dude? That O'Shea dude who did a video going into what Drewski, you know, did his skit on the Israelites. And you had that Bappa, you know what I'm saying, Tazariak hop on the on his comment board, man, and basically saying, you know, you should get me on there, you know, because we do way more, we do more for the community than just go out there, you know, because that's what that dude O'Shea was saying in his video, like y'all don't do nothing for the community, and you know what I'm saying, y'all don't feed people and all this other bullshit, right? You know what I'm saying? Which at the end of the day, what is giving a nigga a sandwich gonna do? You know, what is giving a nigga a sandwich gonna do? All right. That's why you had that instant when all those people was following Yahushua. All right, Yahushua turned and told them, man, y'all only following me because y'all getting food, man. You know, and that's the same way with our people, man. A nigga ain't gonna give two shits you handing out. They just gonna take the sandwich and walk the fuck away. They're not gonna care about what you saying, man. Or they'll sit there long enough until they can get what they want. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's some money or some food from you. And after that, then they go on about their business and continuing on in their wickedness, man. So giving a sandwich unto a nigga is not fixing the problem with our people. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, the true healing is going to be through the preaching of this word, man. All right, clearly. But that healing is that healing, all right, and that coming together is only going to happen, all right, with the elect in these end times, man. All right. But going back into the point, I have a couple of videos that I have queued up that I want to play. All right, because like I said, the wicked is speaking. You know, why aren't these Israelite camps warning about what's getting ready to take place? What's coming, that the image of the breath that's being breathed into this image of the beast that we see taking place right before our eyes. All right, more and more surveillance is happening. Everything is going digital. Revelation 13, the micro C hip, the charagma, man, the MOTB. It seems like nobody is warning, all right, our people, except the man here at Great Millstone, starting with our apostles, elders, and bishops on down. Of course, you have the few like-minded men who may not be in Great Millstone, but are under the branch of Great Millstone, man. You see, pushing the same doctrine and the same mindset of what? Pushing forth prophecy, pushing forth, which is ultimately what is prophecy, the spirit of prophecy of Yahweh Shai, man. Like it says in the book of Revelation, chapter 19. You see? Clearly the Lord is showing, all right, who his man are and who the true prophets are, because we're the only ones who warning about this sword getting ready to take place, man. All right. So I got a couple of videos that I want to play. I'm gonna grab a couple of scriptures, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying.
If I just have this magic power, I would like to reduce the number of people on the planet because there's too many of us. I decided to call it voluntary population optimization. So by the time people worked it out, all these things we talk about wouldn't be a problem if there was the size of population that there was 500 years ago. If you talk about overpopulation and not population control, that's really what got to people. They don't want to be controlled. Please think about what you in your organization can do to help human population decrease. If I just have this magic.
What do we need humans for? Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Do you have an answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have is keep them happy with drugs and computer games. Most people will be willing to give up their privacy in exchange for much better healthcare based on 24 hours monitoring of what's happening inside their bodies. Humans are now hackable animals. This soul or spirit, and they have free will, and nobody knows what's happening inside me. That's over. The real aim of science as a project, as an establishment, is not truth, it's power. The idea of the social credit is to monetize everything, to give value to every single thing you do in life. It's a function of surveillance. It has positive potential in some regard. What do we...
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
First, we've got population. Now, the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
What do we need humans for? Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Do you have an answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have is keep them happy with drugs and computer games.
In substituting humans for machines is going to be far easier in those countries that have declining populations.
Please think about what you in your organization can do to help human population decrease.
And you see, let me pull this right here in the book of Sirach. Sirach chapter 10, all right, in verse 2. It says, matter of fact, I'll just start at 1. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1, it says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. But this is the point. All right, verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are all his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. All right, hold on. Yeah, let's cut my thing. Salakia. Okay, like it was saying, man. All right, now I pulled that scripture for a purpose, man, because here it is. You have all these, and a lot of our people don't even know who these people are that you've seen on the screen, man. All right, like you see Jane Goodall. All right, Yuval Harari. You see, of course, BG. Okay, you have I played another one the other day of the matter of fact, he was on here too. The CEO of BlackRock. All of them are trying to convince you. All right, they're convincing people that a growing population is the problem, man. You see, when the Lord intended for things to be fruitful and multiply, like when you read in Genesis chapter 1, was showing you that they opposed to the ways of the Lord, man. Here it is, and that's all a part of witchcraft, and everybody in these fucking interviews are just clapping. Here it is. Jane Goodall was talking about if she had one magical power, it would be to decrease decrease people, man. You see, and they constantly pump Kamala Harris. All of them are on one accord with this thing, man. And this is something that, you know what I'm saying, no other Israelite camps are talking about. Nobody is talking about this, but the man of great millstone and like-minded men on down. You see, showing you that their blood is gonna be upon their hands, man. You niggas got hella blood on your hands, bro. You see, clearly this is agenda. Clearly this is what this goddamn devil is going. And you've already on there talking big shit, bro. You know. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play it one more time, man. Let's play it one more time.
500 years ago, all these decided to call it power I would like to reduce the number of people on the planet because there's too many of us. I decided to call it voluntary.
Right, and people really think that. You know, people hear that. A lot of people are under the impression that the earth is overcrowded. You see, and that's a part of Esau's sorcery on the left hand side, man. That's a part of his sorcery. All right, like it says in real quick, where is it at? No, it's in Revelation. It might be in Revelations let's see, 17. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 8. It says, and the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. Right, and that's going into America, man. And shall go into perdition. You see? Because when John was seeing this vision, all right, he was seeing America in this vision, you see. But in the time that John received that vision, the Roman Empire was in charge. America wasn't around. You see, it wasn't time for America to come upon the scene, man. That's why it said that beast that thou sawest was, meaning what he's seeing it in his vision, and it's not, meaning it hasn't come yet, right? It says, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and we know that that pit is what? Europe, all right? This is not talking about some place in the center of the earth with fire and Satan down there and niggas screaming like you see on what is that, Tales from the Hood. No, that bottomless pit is talking about, all right, the land of Europe, man. All right. And you can read about that pit, like it says in Second Esdras, you know how the Lord got a favorite everything, you know, a favorite tree, a favorite flower. You see, and it calls what? A land and out of all the pits, you see. All right, meaning a land, right? But it says, continuing on, it says, and they that, this is the point, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, all right, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. It says, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is, right? You see, America, you see, all these people are in wonder. Let's go into that word wonder real quick. All right, let's get that word, man. I want to go into the root. Where is it at? All right, I'm gonna let them say it.
Strong's G 2296, Thalmazo. Thalmazo.
All right, it says to wonder at, to marvel, to be in admiration. All right, but when you go, keep going. All right, and you keep going all the way down to the root. All right, it says to behold, to look upon. It says very attentively. It says of important persons that are looked on with admiration. Right. You see, everybody is sitting in the crowd while this bitch is on. You know why this damn devil is on the stage, convincing you that nigga you need to be deleted. You know, we need to start deleting niggas, and people are clapping. You know, people are really enchanted by this shit, man. You see, that's why the scriptures say, all right, in Second Thessalonians chapter 2, man, with all deceivableness of unrighteousness. When you get in the NLT real quick, I'm gonna go there too. All right. And it's gonna be slack if it's, you know, I'm kind of pressed for time, but let's get in Second Thessalonians chapter 2. I'm reading the KJV and in the NLT. Okay, Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 9, it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. Now, when you go into that word coming, it goes into the Greek word energia. All right, meaning going from the what? Meaning his energy. His energy is going to be after the workings of Satan. All right, and it's clear to see that these people, all right, the Edomites, the wicked, all right, that it talks about. When you read up in Second Thessalonians chapter 2, it talks about that the wicked. All right, it's talking about the Edomites. Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. You see? They are the wicked. They are the wicked. All right, and they're coming. Their energies after the working of Satan with all power in signs and lying wonders. All right, it says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. All right, verse. I'm gonna read that same verse in the NLT. Second Thessalonians 2 and 9 in the NLT. It says, this man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. Right. And we seeing it, man, with this technology. You see? Signs, you know what I'm saying? And it's persuading, and people are wondering after this nigga, man. They're wondering after that beast. All right. It says, this is the point. He will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction. And here it is, they sitting, you know, with the goddamn lights on and the chairs set up with the glasses of water, and they're interviewing these people, and they're constantly pushing in your face about the earth is overpopulated. We need the Depop. We need the Depop. We need the Depop. Multiple people. Kamala have all of them on one accord, and they constantly when they're constantly speaking about this shit, it's pushing out a vibration. It's pushing out it's casting a spell on you, man. You see, but that's a part of that left hand magic. You see, that and you hearing it so much that people it's going into your people's subconscious mind, and they truly starting to believe, and they persuaded with this shit. You know what? A nigga you will go to work or you will run into somebody in the world, and a nigga will believe that. A nigga will sit there and have a conversation that, yeah, the earth is overpopulated. You know, they're talking about offing people, and niggas and people are clapping like you not the ones they gonna off. You know, let's keep going. Oh, matter of fact, before we do that, let's get Psalm 71. I mean 73, real quick to back that point up, man. With all deceiving that fooling, and he's able to fool with that magic, man. All right, and people are holding holding like we're going back into that definition about shall wonder. All right, and in Revelation 17 and verse 8, it says of an important person who's held, who's matter of fact, real quick, before I get this precept, I don't want to slaughter it. I'm gonna read that definition one more time because it's gonna tie right into this, man. All right, but this is that definition for shall wonder. All right, when you go all the way to the root, all right, it says of important persons that are looked on with admiration, right? It talks about that and said what in Sirach, I think what is it, 13, about the rich man. When the rich man speaketh, they exalted to the clouds. You see, because they hold him and they hold this damn devil in with great respect, man. You see, if the so-called white man said, especially amongst our people, if the so-called white man said, it's set in stone, that's what it is, it's true. But if here it is, we telling our people what's we're telling, and what we're telling our people is the truth. They don't want to hear it, man. All that shit, nigga, no, nigga, no. No, the nigga, the white man said it right here in this book. It said the white man said the Big Bang and the dinosaurs, the asteroid killed the dinosaurs and all this other bullshit. And our people are eating that shit up, man. All right. Psalms chapter 73 and verse 9 and 10 in the NLT. It says they boast against the very heavens, right? He even boast against the heavens, man. How much what you think this video is showing you, man? They're boasting against the heavens, man. Especially Yuval, you know, nigga talking mad shit, man. If the God of the Bible don't want don't send us rain, we don't need him. We can make our own rain. The God of the Bible is dead. It just takes some time to hide the body. You see? He's talking, these Edomites are boasting against the heavens, man. You see? They're puffed up in this technology, and they have plans that they want to accomplish on the planet Earth. And why aren't you Israelite camps warning? Why aren't you telling our people this? You niggas going on the podcast. You want to go on the podcast? All right, bro. Do you, if that's what you're gonna do, bro, whatever. But you're not even warning the people, bro. You know? You're not even warning the people about what's about to take place. What the MOTB is. What these people are saying. A lot of our people don't know who Yuval Harari is, man. Slack you. You know? Nigga may know who B Gates is, but that's because that nigga made Xbox. That's the only goddamn thing in Microsoft. That's the only thing a nigga know BG for, man. They don't know who Klaus Schwab is. They don't know who none of these people are. And these are the people that's making plans about how your life is going to be lived out on the planet Earth, man. And clearly the plans that they have are not good. You see? It's really to off you, what we hearing from this video. You see? Psalm 73 in verse 9 in the NLT, they boast against the very heavens, and their words strut throughout the earth. It says, and so people are dismayed and confused, drinking in all their words, right? You see, because the scriptures talk about how Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that make all the earth to drink, you know, he's influenced, man. You see, the Lord have used America, all right, to fulfill prophecy, man. You see, to be the source of that wickedness, because from this bitch right here, man, from America, Babylon the Great is the source of wickedness, man. You see, like it says in Jeremiah, I think it's what Jeremiah 50. It talks about this is the land of graven images, man. You see, but everybody is eating up this nigga words, and he's talking about offing you. They're talking about it. Matter of fact, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Optimization. So by the time people worked it out, all these things we talk about wouldn't be a problem if there was the size of population that there was 500 years ago. If you talk...
Right. Yeah. The problem ain't you poisoning the waters, the air, the food, and fucking up the soil with your GMO and spliced seeds, spraying the food with pesticides. That's not the problem. No, it's the population that's the problem. It's cows that are the problem. There's too many cows, there's too many people, you know. But you poison the land, food, water, air, anything you can get your red ass hands on ain't the problem, though. You see?
About overpopulation and not population control. That's really what got to people. They don't want to be controlled. Please think about what you in your organization can do to help human population decrease.
And is that what the Lord intended when He made the earth? Okay, when He made man, what did the Lord tell? What did the Lord tell? Adam, to be fruitful and multiply, man. You see, He told creation to be fruitful and bring forth and multiply. Here, they're talking about decreasing. That's totally opposed to the ways of Yahweh Shem Shah, man. Let's get another one real quick. I know I said I would play Salaki. This is all through the spirit, man, but this is Proverbs chapter 14. All right, in verse 28, this is going to be in the NLT. It says, a growing population is a king's glory. You see, so here it is. The glory of a king is to have what? Servants. And, a growing population, man. You see, because when things are growing, what does that mean? Things are flourishing. All right. You're not going to have a deep pop agenda in the kingdom of heaven, man. You see, no, things are going to flourish in the way that Yahweh Shem Shai intended it to. You see, but under this devil's rulership, he's trying to subtract. You see, that's totally opposed to what Yahweh Shem Shai intended. Proverbs 14 and 28 in the GNT in the NLT. A growing population is a king's glory. It says a prince without subjects has nothing, right? You see, a prince without subjects have nothing. But what is he ultimately planning on replacing, so-called replacing people with? With these fucking robots, man. That's another thing that Jake ain't warning about. How Esau is able to slide this, under through through gradualism, you see, through the guise of convenience, he's able to slide this technology in and get people hooked onto it, all right, and get people to accept it, not knowing that it's ultimately gonna replace them. And that's why a lot of people are losing jobs now. You see, that shit was cute, when you can make little videos and shit like that, but then when that shit take your job, it ain't so cute no more, right? And that's about to start happening on a massive scale, man. All right, they got automated trucks that drive with no drivers. All right, that's taking jobs from the truckers, man. All right, they got cars that can pick you up, Uber now. So that's gonna all this little side gig you working Ubers on the weekend. Soon that shit is gonna be out the fucking door, man. Soon your ass ain't gonna be you ain't gonna be no Ubers no more because they gonna have their goddamn cars doing that shit by themselves, man. Amazon warehouse will laying people off, man, and replacing people with robots, man. You see what's taking place, but yet and still these Israelite camps are not warning about it. Ultimately, this is all going towards what? A further goal of implementing that charagma, man. You see? To bring forth the stress and chaos to get people to accept this way. But these other Israelite camps are not warning about these things. They're too busy talking about their damn self. You see?
Have this magic.
What do we need humans for? Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Do you have an answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have is keep them happy with drugs and computer games.
And a nigga doing that.
Most
give a nigga Madden, he good. Get a nigga Madden in the dime bag, and Jay good, man.
People will be willing to give up their privacy in exchange for much better healthcare based on 24 hours monitoring of what's happening inside their bodies. Humans are now hackable animals. this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. That's over. The real aim of science as a project, as an establishment, is not truth, it's power. The idea of the social credit is to monetize everything, to give value to every single thing you do in life. It's a function of surveillance. It has positive potential in some regard. What do we
And these are the plan that these elites have for you people, man. You know, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse, man. You see it for yourself, all right. And these other Israelite camps are not warning, all right. As the scriptures say, they are all dumb dogs that cannot bark. You see, people have dogs for a reason, man. It ain't for you to pet them and feed them, all right. Which that's a part of having a dog, all right. But ultimately, a dog's job is to what? To warn you. You know, warn you when somebody is approaching, when danger is approaching. That's why you chilling at your crib or whatever. If you got a dog, that dog gonna start barking before that person gets to that door. You see, to warn you that something's coming. Likewise with these guys who's claiming to be Israelite leaders, all right, who claiming to be prophets of Yahweh Shem Shai. But why aren't you doing the job why aren't you doing the job of a prophet? You see, you're not warning the people. The Lord is making it more clear on who his men are and who the true watchmen are. All right, so with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakodash. The bonders unto the apostles of the great millstone and teaching rule well. As always, peace and salutation to the elect. Shalom.